Assalamu alaikum. I am Omar Beg and today we are discussing about the mass spectrometry. In mass spectrometry, one generates ion from a sample to be analyzed. The ions are then separated and qualitatively detected. Separation is achieved on the basis of different characteristics of moving ion with different mass charge ratios in electrical or magnetic field. Mass spectrometry has evolved from the experiment and study early in the 20th century that tried to explain the behavior charged particle in magnetic and electrostatic force fields. Well-known names from these early days are J. J. Thomson's investigation into the behavior of ion beam in electrical and magnetic field, 1912; A. J. Dempster, directional focusing, 1918; and F. W. Aston, energy focusing, in 1919. In this way, refinement of the technique was achieved that allowed important information concerning the natural abundance of isotopes to be collected. The first analytical application then followed in the early 40s when the first reliable commercial mass spectrometer were produced. Then this was mainly for the quantitative determination of the several components in complex mixture of crude oil. In the beginning 60s of the application of the mass spectrometry to the identification and structure and elucidation of more complex organic compounds including polymers and biomolecules start. Since then the technique has developed to powerful and versatile tool for this purpose, which provide information partly complementary to and overlapping with other techniques such as NMR. The technique will, if there is a Y in the last of the meter or anything, it is means to be a technique. If there is a meter, so it is used as a as a device. It is perhaps surprising that a technique that at first sight does not appear to give more information than the weight of a particle should be important, since it is difficult to imagine to a prosaic property of a molecule, then it is molecular weight, then controlled fragmentation of the initial molecule ion yield interesting information that can contribute to structure and elucidation. In addition, the weight of can now be determined with sufficient accuracy to allow element composition to be derived. The lecture notes were first drafted in Dutch by Peter van Galen in 1992, when the only mass spectrometer in the Faculty of Science was the department double-sectored instrument. They were translated into English in 2005 and gradually updated by Peter van Galen and Martin Feiter to include the description of new instruments based on new principles and with new applications. There are some basic principles of the mass spectrometry. Through the principles of a modern analytical mass spectrometry are easily understood, this is not necessarily true for the operators of mass spectrometry, especially a multi-sector instrument is one of the most complex electronic and mechanical devices one encounters as a chemist. Therefore, this means highly cost of at purchase and maintenance besides a specialized training for operators. Measurement principle. In the essential part of an analytical mass spectrometer are depicted. Its procedure is as follows. If the first part of the measurement principle are a small amount of compound, typically 1 micromole or less is evaporated. The vapor is leaking into the inhalation chamber and where our pressure is maintained about 10 minus bar. This is a diagram of mass spectrometry. First is the ionization. For ionization, it is ionized. Then we can change the radius of a ion. The second part is the vapor molecules are now ionized by an electron beam. A heated cathode, the filament produce this beam. Ionization is achieved by inductive effect rather than strict. by collision. By loss of valence electron, mainly positive ions are produced. Third, the positive ions are forced out of the ionization chamber by a small positive charge.